Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a comparison with the S25 Ultra versus the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So this is a lot older, but I wanted to see what kind of difference has been made with these two phones. We've got quite an old one. Obviously right now there's the iPhone 16 Pro Max available. So I wanted to test out with the S25 Ultra, so the brand new Samsung phone versus quite an old iPhone. So just want to do like a bit of speed test and just to give comparisons and my little review of owning both the phone and how I would feel if I was to swap over from an iPhone to the Galaxy phone, and what I think is a must. And yeah, so just want to give a little comparison for you guys as well. So if you're somebody who's got an iPhone 12 and thinking maybe swap to an Android phone or the S25 Ultra, just to hopefully this video should help you guys as well. So we'll do a quick little speed test just to see which apps load fast, and I'm just going to clear all that out so you can see there's nothing there, there's nothing there. There you go. So if I do the App Store, so that loaded up really fast, whereas this is still loading. Now if I was to do it again whilst they're both on memory, try that again. Yeah, so you got the animation there, and this one's a lot faster with its so when you press it, you can see it's loading from the box to here. It's a bit more animation heavy on that side, but it does look nice when it goes back. The same thing kind of actually. It goes back in there, comes out, goes back, but just a lot more faster on that one with the animations. We'll try to do settings. Obviously this loads up faster, but because of the animation I think it's just a little bit on the slower side. Yeah, so once it's loaded, so when you're loading up for the first time, I think that's where the difference happens. Let's try to find a different app. So we're going to do the calculator. So this one loaded up a lot faster. So you can see it's still got a bit of, well, obviously it's got a bit more speed. Not so much so that it's going to make a difference in daily use. So like, there you go. Sorry, my hand covered it. I'll try to find another app that I haven't opened. So we'll go to Google Translate and oops. Okay, so even though I did that one first, that loaded up faster. Last one, which is, we'll just do Flight Radar, get them both. Okay, well. So I'll try to do that again. There you go. So that loaded up faster. So we can see here that obviously the S25 Ultra is a lot faster versus the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So loading up stuff, it's been doing a lot better. Try to see how it is with the camera, just to see. Yeah, both more or less was kind of the similar-ish. The other thing, so I wanted to talk about with these two is obviously they've both got their advantage and disadvantage. And the one thing I do really like what Apple has done is the Face ID. I think that is one of the best things that they have done. And with me, my hands are quite dry sometimes, so with fingerprints it's not always so great, so it doesn't always recognize it, so you have to either dip it in water just so that it's got a bit of moisture on it, so then the fingerprint scanner can read it. Whereas this one, obviously your face, there isn't really much to do apart from looking at the phone and it will unlock. Whether it's opening up an app, if you're doing banking, open your banking app, Face ID, so much faster. And obviously this won't be for everybody. Obviously some people, whoever's fingers are not dry, they'll be fine, but then obviously you'll have them other people who do have maybe have got a bit of dry finger, where the sensor doesn't recognize it, but you have to do it like 3-4 times, then it'll recognize, or you have to dip it in water and then it'll straight away recognize your fingerprint. Whereas this one, I've seen every single time is so much easier. Even making payments, I want to go, for example, shopping, Face ID, done. Then with this one, you'll have to do the fingerprint, keep doing it, or use the pin and then use it, which is a bit annoying because if you're going to be dipping your finger in water, or whether it's just either sometimes you'll have to lick it, because if you can't find water, you have to do that, and then use your finger to get the reader to actually recognize your fingerprint. So it takes a bit more time for people who's got a dry finger. But obviously, if you haven't got that issue, then you'll be fine. But I just wished with the S25 they would have updated, at least added a sensor for Face ID, because obviously they've got a similar way of adding your face. So you have to turn your face around, follow the instructions whilst it's getting your face scanned. They've got that here as well, but obviously it's just the standard camera which does it, whereas this one's got infrared, so you can see there's some lights flashing. That's one thing that I really like about the iPhone. That does make it a bit harder to move to Android. And the thing with Android is, it is a good phone. Samsung, all the other Android phones, if someone was to change over from iPhone to there, especially with dry skin, if you've got that, that's the only issue, is it's just a fingerprint. It just makes it a bit more harder to transition. That's for myself. I'm sure there might be other people who may relate, but I just wished Samsung would update that for their phones. At least having Face ID on banking apps, making payments, it would make it a lot easier. How the iPhone's done it. They may do it in the future, I'm not sure, but it's been quite a long time. But they've always stuck with the camera-based one, where the camera just senses it, whereas obviously you've got these sensors and everything radar with this one. The other thing that I also do like about the iPhone is that they've got the pass key, where it saves all your details, so the password, sorry. That's one thing I do like, because it's built in with the phone. So whichever apps you've got, if you've got them saved on that, it just makes it a lot easier to find it and add it to a different phone. Whether it's, so for example, with my situation, it was going on to password, then obviously use your Face ID to unlock it, to then add it to the apps here. Whereas on the Samsung, they don't have that option to save all the details on every single app, whereas this one does, the iPhone. Here you've got a few where you can save on the Samsung's own, I believe it was in the wallet section, so they've added it somewhere here now to have passwords. So it'll be on the wallet, so you got your Samsung Pass there, so it'll have a bit of more stuff. So you can see I've only added 9 because it only save 9 of the stuff that I've actually tried to do. I've tried to I was hoping it would save quite a lot, but for some reason it won't give you that option to save passwords for all of your apps, whereas obviously with the iPhone ones it lets you do on everything, nearly everything. I've not had one that hasn't saved anything, so I find it useful for that. So I've been logging into my accounts on the Samsung with the help of the iPhone's password app, because it saves automatically. I'm not sure if they've got a different version maybe for Samsung. Obviously I've been using Samsung Pass, which usually saves it if it gives that option, so I'll obviously choose that option. You can use third-party apps, but I just like the ones that's built onto the phones, because then when you're actually logging in or going on the browser, and then it'll just pop up with Samsung Pass, so you can just instantly log in. That's also another thing that I actually like. I mean, Samsung is getting there. They've got a few apps that does work with it, where it'll tell you that it gives you that option to save. But yeah, that's something that is that makes it a bit more harder to move, because it just makes it so much easier. Life is so much easier with iPhone remembering everything. And the advantage with the Samsung is the battery. The battery life on this phone is amazing versus this one. Obviously this is quite old now, But even with my S23, that battery lasts a long time. I've got an S22, which is also lasting very good. So they've been quite good with battery life. iPhones are known to be not that great with battery life, but iOS is very good. And now Samsung's got quite near iOS as well with this new UI 7, which I do like. It is really nice. I like the little widgets here as well. I mean, you can add widgets here. They're both now very similar to each other. Apps are now more or less the same. Before, well, there would have been a while back where you'd have some apps are not available on the Android or vice versa. But now, majority of the apps are now available on both phones. So there's no issues there. But it's mainly, if you was to swap, it's those little things that kind of get me. It's the Face ID, the password keeping. Just wished they had the option of doing all the passwords as well. So like for every apps, like iPhone does. The display on the Samsungs are amazing. The quality just looks very, very good. Even watching videos just looks more crisp. Looks really nice. Obviously, you've got the 8K video recording as well. I believe the newer iPhones as well, they've got that. But yeah, very happy with that as well. The display just looks really nice. And the fact that there's no more chin as well, just getting thinner and thinner. It just looks really good. Not much of a bezel. And they made it 6.9 inches versus the 6.8 I believe it was for the previous gen. So it's getting really good. So it's the same form factor, but the screen's just gone bigger. So it's still the same phone size, but they've managed to have a little bit less bezel this time around. And obviously here you've got the 5 cameras with the rings. I'm sure you've seen videos of the rings coming off or people taking it off, but if you've got a protector on there, like a case, you'll be fine. And it's not going to come off that easily. They are quite strong. So you got your 5 cameras there. Obviously, you got the iPhone with the 3 and then the LiDAR sensor. That's quite a cool feature as well. You just double tap and then no face detected. So let's try that again. There we go. The other thing I do want to mention is wallet. So you can obviously have a few options with Android. So you can have Google Pay, or you can use Samsung's Pay. But with Samsung, they don't accept all major cards. Same goes to Google Wallet as well. I've noticed I couldn't add my First Direct credit card. It wouldn't allow me for some reason on the Google Pay. And obviously on the iPhone, it accepts every single card, I believe. I've not had one that is not accepted. With the Samsung, straight away with Samsung Pay, it wouldn't accept quite a few cards. Google Pay, I mean, I've managed to add quite a lot, but there was one that wouldn't accept it. So that's kind of annoying, the fact that you've got a bank account with someone, but then you can't add it onto your Google Pay or Samsung Pay. But then on the iPhone, there's no issues of adding that. Seems to be a bit more negative towards Samsung, but these are the things that's kind of like getting me. So if I was to swap to the Samsung, that's the things that kind of stop me from going there. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else. I'm sure everybody's got their own personal preference on what they would prefer or not have. But those are the kind of things that I would like to have. But then that's why they are 2 different phones. And but very great phones, both of them in their own perspective. They're doing really good. Samsung, I do like the Samsung as well. There's no issues with that. It's just those small little nitty-gritty things. But other than that, I've been using this one as well, trying to make it like a main phone. But it's still kind of hard to move towards it. It's just I just need those small little things where it just makes a lot easier with the iPhone. But Samsung's been great. They've been very smooth. So the phone's been amazing. Really, really smooth phone. The iPhone as well, it's not so bad. But you can just tell with this one, it's just nice and smooth. Obviously, you've got the 120 Hz as well. So it just looks a lot nicer as well. I mean, I know that other iPhones as well got that option. And to be fair, I thought the phone sizes, the actual phone size, is more or less the same, but this just looks bigger, which is quite cool. When you put it side to side, it doesn't actually look that much of a difference. But when it was a separate, when you're looking at that, it just feels like this is a bigger phone, but it actually is the same. So I've just done a timer. I just wanted to show you guys how that looks. So you can see if I swipe down, you'll find there's a timer there. But then when you're on the home screen, nothing there. But with the Samsung, it's always there, so you can see on the top. Whereas this one, you'll have to push it down to get the notification, so you'll have it there. And even if I was to, for example, close it, tap here, you can see on the bottom you've got the timer, and here as well, if you tap it, you can see there's a timer there. But here you've got a little, I believe, you'll have more cards. So if you have more stuff, you have little cards there as well. That's one thing I like, is that it's always constantly there. Whereas with the newer iPhones, I believe you'll have it on the dynamic island. But that's something nice. I do like that. You can always continue to see it. So if you was to forget about it and you open your phone, you'll see your timers just right there. That's a good feature that I like. And obviously when you swipe down, you've got it there as well. I've also noticed with Gemini, it seems to be a lot better when you ask to do something, whereas the Siri on this one, so this is not the new Siri, where it's supposed to be a lot better with AI. So this is still got the newest update, but it hasn't got the new Siri feature. But I've seen even with the S23, if I've got Gemini, it does a lot better than Siri. So it's simple things as well, like if you wanted to get a recipe out, which I did before, iPhone, it'll just take you to a web browser, whereas Gemini would actually give you the details, which is something a lot better, because that's what you want. Something, you asked for something, it'll give it to you straight away. That is something really good with Samsung. Whereas Siri, you have to go to the web browser to find it yourself. So that's something pretty cool I really love about Samsung's there, because I believe they've joined Bixby and Gemini together on this phone. I'm not 100% sure. That's what I think that's what I've heard about that. So they've all got their little advantages, disadvantages. Camera's amazing on this. Quality looks amazing. I've been taking, to be fair, if I'm ever taking photos, I do use the Samsung, because I just feel like Samsung's photos just look nicer as well. But that's also a preference again. Depends, but I just really love Samsung's photos. They just look really amazing. It just pops as well, so when you put on the TV, it just looks really nice. Videos as well, they look really good. So I'm going to wrap that up here. I hope that kind of helps someone who's thinking about switching, and if they had that same kind of thing that I'm thinking of. But to be fair, even if it was to switch, I don't think you'll regret it, because it is a really good phone. I do like it as well. It has come a long way. It's done a lot of things now. So now the fact that you've got that similarity, I just love this. So now you've got this own little section as well, so you don't have to keep scrolling down and down like the other ones. Really love that as well. But both amazing phones in their own rights. And yeah, hopefully this video kind of helps you guys if you was thinking about it, and if you was kind of like in the same kind of position as I was regarding these stuffs. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.